Welcome, I'm Caitlin and I'll be your facilitator in this video. I'm a member of the World Class Warriors First Leg League team. We have been selected to compete in the FLL US Open contest in California and we need your help and feedback to do this.
The project challenge this year was World Class. All teams had to choose a topic related to learning and come up with innovative ways to improve this. We are a group of passionate students that have been fortunate to have learned from many great teachers, and we wanted to combine all our best experiences to help improve classroom learning. Over to you, Owen.
It was amazing how much we all had in common when we shared the experiences of times when we learned the most. Many of our best teachers were using the same techniques, but our big breakthrough came when we started doing research in the exciting field of the latest neuroscience related to learning and memory formation to understand why these techniques work so well.
I'm Parker. By combining all the great teaching experience we had with the latest neuroscience research, we came up with a new model for a blended classroom. As you will see, this includes both a web-based platform and suggestions for changing the lesson format to make the blended learning classroom more fun, more engaging, and easier for teachers to manage. All important components of optimized learning. Over to you, Samuel.
Thanks, Parker. You may be asking what blended learning is. We recently found out that it's the name given to a new teaching style that combines traditional teaching with technology-driven teaching, like the use of videos, computer simulations, and tests. Who would not like to make classrooms more fun, more engaging, and improve learning?
Blended learning is still in its early stages of development, and that is why we believe our system is so valuable. However, to improve our system, we really need feedback from experienced educators like you. So thank you for listening to this video and answering the simple questions at the end. Take us away, Caitlin.
Education is at a crossroad. The rapid development of information technology and recent neuroscience findings promise to change the way we think of teaching. I'm reporting from Fayette County, Georgia on a team of students that are trying to crack the code to teaching. They researched and documented their best learning experiences over more than 45 years of collective classroom experience. According to one of them, a remarkable feature came out. They learned the most when they were having fun. Not necessarily the silly, fooling kind of fun, but the kind of fun when your brain is actively engaged and interested in the material and when the teacher is naturally making the process of learning fun. To understand why fun is so important, they researched two activities where fun becomes addictive: video games and gambling. I have Owen, one of the team's members, with me here. Owen, you are the resident video game expert. Tell me why video games are so fun and addictive.
Well, that's a very interesting question, and the answer is way more complex than it might seem. Firstly, video games engage many of your sensory systems in a coordinated way. The sounds, vivid colors, and even the vibrations in your hands. Have you ever heard of a successful video game with the same soundtrack as your last period on a Friday droning economics teacher? But that's only the beginning. Next, our research showed that there's a science in the system of earning points. Have you ever heard of video games that earns points in a 0.1% increment? Or of a game that starts off at 100 and then deducts points for every mistake? Earning points creates positive feelings of competition, even against yourself. Finally, and probably the most important finding, came from a neuroscience paper that showed how high levels of the neurotransmitter dopamine are the key to understanding the amazing addiction to video games and to why gamers can focus their attention for so long.
Remarkable! So, to summarize up this point, research showed that important elements for learning include engaging your brain with coordinated stimuli like music and bright colors, thinking about a fun reward system for earning points, and most importantly, thinking about how to ensure the dopamine is released in the brain of the student. By natural means, of course. Owen, thank you very much for that.
Oh, you're welcome.
After learning this, the team started reading more about neuroscience, and then the big breakthrough happened. During one team meeting, they discovered a new paper from a leading neuroscience journal written by some of the world's top neuroscientists. This paper summarized the findings of the latest neuroscience on learning. With me here is Parker, one of the team members that discovered this paper. Can you tell me more about your findings?
Yes, the paper was a real breakthrough for us. It provided the framework that explains the science behind learning. The paper showed how long-term memory formation is created by the hippocampus. The hippocampus is an odd-shaped structure right in the middle of the brain and is responsible for converting short-term memories into long-term memories throughout the brain. The basic idea is that learning is optimized when the hippocampus is happy. By looking at the results from hundreds of neuroscientists, the author came up with a simple acronym to describe the conditions under which the hippocampus can best create long-term memories. The conditions are described by the acronym AGES.
Can you tell us what AGES stands for?
Absolutely. The A stands for attention. If your brain is not focused, its attention on the material, then the hippocampus is unlikely to commit it to long-term memory. This seems quite obvious, but there are some very interesting findings about attention. The first, proven by two neuroscientists at Keele University in the UK, is that during learning, adults can only keep attention on a single topic for at most 20 minutes. It is believed that this is even less for younger students. Second, multitasking is the enemy of learning, probably why Instagram should remain banned in class. Third, the words of Dr. Josh Davis in Columbia. Attention is especially susceptible to interference of materials in the same modality. For example, reading and listening to the teacher speaking the same words really messes up your brain and your concentration. On the other hand, hearing words and seeing related pictures, a different modality, really facilitates attention and therefore learning. The G stands for generation, the name of the process where links are generated between the new knowledge and existing knowledge in the brain. If a new piece of knowledge has many links to existing knowledge, then the chances that it will be transferred into long-term memory increases greatly. What is really cool is that neuroscience have also found how to improve generation. One simple trick is to attach a new idea to a social relationship. Dr. Davis suggests getting students to close their eyes and imagine explaining what they have just learned to a family member that may be interested. This process fixes the brain into linking the material to an existing strong social relationship. Another trick that has been proven to work is to ask the students intriguing questions about what they have just learned. For example, in 30 seconds, write down some ideas of how you could apply X in the real world. The students' thoughts that goes through their minds causes the new idea to be linked to existing knowledge of the real world. The E stands for emotion. Research published by Leela Devacci at NYU shows that the best long-term memory formation occurs during times of mild positive and mild negative emotion. What is very interesting is that zero emotion is associated with very low rates of learning. Boredom is an example of low emotion state.
Does this explain why you don't learn much in classes when you're really bored?
Yes, for more reasons than one. Firstly, as you identified, boredom corresponds to no emotion, so the hippocampus misses out on an E. And secondly, boredom is associated with a wandering, unfocused brain, so you don't get sufficient attention or A.
Wow, a double whammy for boredom.
Actually, a triple whammy.
A triple whammy?
Yes, a triple whammy.
Can you tell us more about this triple whammy?
Oh, do you really want me to?
Yes, please.
Okay, the science goes like this. On the right side of your brain, about here, is a region called the director because it is responsible for focusing your brain's attention. It is very powerful, but as neuroscientists at Florida State University discovered, it tires very easily. If your thoughts start to wander and you suddenly saw to yourself, come on now, focus on the economics teacher. Your director kicks in and wrestles your attention away from your current thoughts back to the teacher. In brain terms, this is one of the most exhausting activities. So exhausting that the science shows that after 3 to 4 of these events, the director becomes so tired that it gives up trying to get the brain to concentrate until it can refresh. So a boring teacher does not give the student time to rest, but actually tires them out and makes the next teacher's job more difficult.
So surely one of the key goals must be to ensure that boredom is gotten rid of in classrooms.
Exactly. But getting back to the AGES model, the final letter S stands for spacing. Spacing means giving the hippocampus time to stew the information before reintroducing it. Neuroscientists at Purdue recently discovered that a simple way to increase what is remembered by more than 60% is to teach a single topic in 2 short bursts with a few minutes spacing in between them. But as researchers at Santa Clara and Harvard universities found spacing with sleep in between the session more than doubles the retention.
This team's remarkable research gives clear clues to teaching in a way that is compatible with the students' brains. If we could combine the ideas from the groundbreaking AGES research with the findings from video games and gambling, we could have a learning and teaching style that greatly enhances real learning. But in discussions with teachers, we found out that the complexity of changing a lesson to a brain-friendly style would be very high. In fact, using current teaching methods, it would just not be possible. But what if we look to an entirely new method of teaching? one where we could use technology to make a motivated teacher's life fun, easier, and more inspiring while engaging students in a stimulating environment where the hippocampuses are wildly happy and where learning is optimized. I spoke to the team's technology expert Samuel to find out more.
Well, that really is the question we had to ask ourselves, and some of the teachers that we spoke with. At first sight, it kind of seemed impossible, but then who would have thought that it would be possible that we can remain in contact with friends and family across the world?
Without social media, that would be impossible. Now it's not only possible, but it's fun and easy, and according to Facebook, more than 1 billion people in the world already do it effortlessly.
So we realized that we needed to look at technology and the answer of how to make teaching easier, more fun, and more effective. What we came up with is a web-based platform called Brain Engagement. Brain Engagement is a platform that allows teachers to break up classes into 15-minute increments, and then to easily prepare blended learning lesson modules by importing videos, pictures, and presentations. It would also then allow the teachers to select from a large number of exciting, brain-friendly activities at the end of each lesson. For example, we know that the best way to stimulate generation was to ask intriguing generative questions. So we came up with a quiz, not some ordinary quiz, but an interactive, fun, and educational quiz that kept the students engaged throughout, like Kahoots on steroids. And in order to make our quiz extremely engaging, we decided to include elements that are known to stimulate dopamine. Even relevant jokes or funny videos could be included. These activities would be designed hit on all the buttons to maximize dopamine release and put the hippocampus in a happy space. For example, one of the most effective ways of releasing dopamine into people's brains is to introduce an element of chance, or creating an expectation of winning. We included a Wheel of Fortune at the end of each module where all the students participated actively and were entered into. The winning student would earn 20,000 points. Finally, the teachers would also enter a 1 to 2 minute review of each module and some review questions that the system would use at the appropriate time. The system would then make it easy for the teachers to deliver the lessons. They could focus more on what they enjoy most and do the best, connecting with students. The system makes activities as exciting as video games and manages all the points and administrative tasks. One big innovation, which was actually suggested by a teacher, was to make the lesson modules shareable between teachers. For example, a teacher who wanted some new lesson ideas and example quizzes for the Pythagorean theorem or trigonometry could go on and browse modules generated by other teachers and import all those modules. Teachers could earn status points based on how many other teachers downloaded or used their lessons. Teachers using lessons would also rate them, improve them, and provide feedback. Teachers looking for new lessons would also be able to use these rankings to find the best lessons on a particular topic.
And how does this work for the students? Robbie, can you comment on that?
Sure. All of the elements Samuel just described are designed to optimize the effectiveness of the students' hippocampuses. In addition to that, we designed a positive reward system based on a publicly visible points log. Not only does the student's position on the points log imply positive status, but the points can be redeemed for valuable items that money cannot buy, like homework passes, quiz bonus points, donations to charities, ice cream, and much more. In summary, the solution combines most of the key elements required to optimize learning in the brains of the students. Our proposed brain engagement platform does this in a way that is simple and fun for the teachers, and fun for engaging the students.
Wow, that idea includes a lot of research and hard work. To wrap this all up, I'd like to kindly ask the educators and teachers who are watching this video to do us a favor and answer a survey about this team's idea. It should now take a minute to answer 5 simple questions. We know your time is precious. Thank you so much for helping us with this project.